If your goal is to get jacked, feel good, be lean year round without getting fat, without bulking, without doing all this bullshit that most people tell you to do, then you should definitely practice the law of detachment. The moment I detached myself from the goal, which was to get shredded and to look good and feel confident, was the moment I actually got the results. So today I'm gonna just go over the thought process that allow me to look like this, feel my best, get in the best shape of my life, be healthy, without needing to make all these sacrifices to count my calories, to basically force myself to build muscle. And to generally dive into my personal story, for a lot of time I used to chase the physique, and I even got to a point where I sacrificed everything because I was hearing all these mindset guys online who are preaching that if you genuinely desire something and you want it as bad as you want to breathe, you're going to get it. And I used that mindset for so long until it let me burn out, it let me inflame, it let me lose enjoyment in generally going to the gym. At one point, I wanted to quit on this sport because of having that mindset. I was brute forcing myself to get the results. But in life, it doesn't work like that. If you chase something, it's going to run away from you. But the moment you actually focus on the inputs, on what you have to do, and you focus on having more intent, that's when you're actually going to get to those goals. Because when you just sit there and just obsess over that goal and you try to brute force getting the physique, you're only creating this stress, this unnecessary burden, which, by the way, is going to only create inflammation and it's not going to allow you to get to that goal. And so the moment I actually took a step back, I zoomed out on the broad scheme of things and I started asking myself, where is this actually going to lead me? If I continue the way I used to continue till now, where will I get? And I actually got an answer, which was that I would probably be unfulfilled. I'll continuously feel this hatredness towards me because I was putting in so much negative energy just to get this goal. I just wanted to get this outcome. And that is also a form of lust. Like just focusing on a goal and just having this massive desire, that puts you into a low frequency state. I'm gonna just leave this chart on here. You can see desire is a low frequency. You gotta raise your frequency. And in order to get that, you need to take a step back and do less. Like genuinely do less and have more intent about what you do. So instead of training 6 times a week for 2 hours every session, I reduced it to only 4 sessions an hour, but giving absolutely my best, making sure that I progress each and every single workout. So not focusing on the volume, the more I do, the more I get. No, that mindset is not good. That is just going to lead you to burnout. And you're just going to have that frustration because you put in so much work. You generally do so much work, but you don't get the results. You don't get rewarded for the work you put in. So is that a life you actually want to live where you put in a lot of effort, but you don't have the results to show for it? Like that's the ultimate formula for being miserable, to living a miserable life. And so I reduced my volume. I also started incorporating other activities such as getting outside. Like Jenny, get outside. Don't sit in the home. Your mitochondria feeds onto lighting. You need to actually be in nature to operate your best. You have to align with your biology. So get outside, do other sports, enjoy good time with family, with relatives. Go out there, enjoy yourself, but don't do bullshit. Look forward your health. So you have to drop your ego and realize that this is leading you nowhere. You have to gently humble yourself to suffer that ego death, which I had to go over, and any person who actually got something, and you have to go through this ego death. You generally have to let that old self die. You have to let him sink. And it was so hard for me coming from this bodybuilding mindset that I need to track every single macro, that I need to have this perfect routine in order for me to build muscle. That was the very thing that was limiting me from getting my dream physique, from feeling my best. Because you weren't made to sit under artificial light in a gym for 2 hours and just pumping iron. So then also, when it comes about my nutrition, I stopped counting calories and I started actually looking forward the micronutrients that I get from the food. I switched the chicken and rice for beef and eggs. And I generally started looking forward and researching on what nutrition actually is. I dished out all these protein powders, the artificial sweeteners, and as a byproduct of me training less but having more intent with the food, with my training and with my recovery, I got better results than I ever used to have prior. So it's not about doing more, it's about doing less, but doing it with way much intent. It's about the intention. This is the actual word, intent. You need to do things with intent, not out of ego. When it comes about building muscle, it's not a game of like, oh, I'm working so much harder than the other person, so I'm gonna get more rewards than that person. No. On here, it's purely based on intention. How intentional you can be when you train. Are you there in the muscle, or are you just thinking about the next set that you're going to do? That, oh my God, I have to do another 10 sets today. No, you gotta be there. You actually need to enjoy your workouts. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It's still going to be challenging. But you generally need to create a lifestyle that is aligned with you, that is going to allow you to build the muscle, but not feel that everything else collapses. So you can still go out, have a nice meal with your family. You don't need to be this close-minded person that, oh, if I go out, that is going to ruin my progress. Like literally, I was sacrificing everything just to get the physique. I would sacrifice absolutely everything. And so I had the discipline. I generally sacrificed everything to get there, but at what cost? If you feel empty, if you lose enjoyment in life. So do less and you're going to get way more rewards for them, because you're actually intentional about what you do. And also, you don't need to limit yourself only to training in a gym. Like you can do so many other sports and still build muscle. Like you can go skiing, you can go long distance cycling, you can go hiking in the mountains, taking walks, doing calisthenics, doing other sorts of sports, and still build muscle. Because for me now, this is an actual good physique. It's one that is actually functional, because I went through a lot of injuries. I know how it feels having lower back pain, having knee pain, having wrist pain, and all sorts of pains because of the gym. Like generally feeling that bloatedness and feeling tired after each meal that I was eating. Like my life became a burden. I was full all the time. All I could think was the next meal I'm about to eat when I was bulking. I would already feel anxious just thinking about the amount of food volume I needed to eat for the next meal. It was just crazy. I was generally doing what a pro bodybuilder was doing just to get the physique. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need to do none of this shit to get a good physique and to feel your best. You just need to be more intentional about what you do. And that is what is actually going to allow you to get in the best health and best shape of your life. So remember, doing more is not going to equal more progress. It's the exact opposite. Doing less but having more intent, that is what is actually going to get you towards where you want to be. And that is also going to feel enjoyable, because you want to make this process feel enjoyable. You don't want to feel like a burden. And at the beginning, it's super tough to just leave off that mindset. But I can assure you that once you do this switch, you make this transition, number one, you're going to notice way more energy. Then your physique is actually going to bloom, and you're going to be way happier. You're going to have that passion for life to actually go for and strive towards other goals outside the gym. So the key thing that I want you to take from this video is that you need to do less. Stop trying to brute force progress. It's not possible. Do less and do with more intent. And if you don't know where to start, because you consume all this information and you just feel overwhelmed about what you need to do, I highly suggest you just subscribe to my channel, where I go in depth on the nutrition you should have, on how to actually boost up your testosterone, how to train, how to elevate your mindset and your walk with God so that you can become your highest self. Build the physique, and also in the meanwhile, build yourself up as a man to feel your best, to become your highest self, to ascend. I genuinely hope this helped out, and if it did, just don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, and see you until the next one.